The 5 commandments of remote session success. These are 5 ideas I've put together which I believe contribute to a successful career in the remote session industry. Starting with commandment number 1. Do not fear competition. If we view it in the right way, we can actually embrace competition as a positive thing. So rather than competing with other people or comparing ourselves to others, actually compete with yourself, because at the end of the day, we are our own worst enemies. For example, if we compare ourselves to others, we can sit there thinking, why should I get a website done? Why should I create a profile on these marketplaces like SoundBetter and AirGigs, where I can potentially accumulate an income doing remote session work, because there's thousands of other session musicians that are way ahead of me and much more experienced. At the end of the day, what you should be doing to achieve more results is thinking, where am I now and where can I realistically be in a couple of weeks' time? For example, if you haven't yet created a website, that's basically like applying to a job without a CV. Step 1, you could be creating a website and aim to achieve that particular goal over a set period of time. Then you actually have living proof that you're moving forward, rather than just sitting down comparing your journey as a beginner to someone else who's been doing this for a long time. Try to turn things around and actually see a positive in a negative, which isn't actually a negative. For example, sure, there's going to be thousands of other session guitarists who have been in this industry for years, but then there's a lot of beginner producers and songwriters that might actually feel overwhelmed to approach these people because of their credits. You could actually create a niche there by reaching out to beginner producers and songwriters who are just starting out in their career. The main thing is that you're reliable and that you can get the job done accurately and in time. Another way in which you can compete with yourself rather than other people is by writing things down. Write down your small but realistic goals. Again, if it's building a website, great, write that down. Write down that you started working towards this at a particular date and time, and then once you've achieved this, you cross that off and then you start a new, realistic, small and achievable goal. Remember that everyone brings something unique to the table. If your particular style is country or pop, that's something that you can specialize in. Remember, try and figure out what it is that you can bring that's unique. I'm not the best player. Sorry to break it to you, but guess what? I accumulate jobs because I'm reliable and I always try to push myself. I always try to improve. The main thing is that you're trying to be the best version of yourself. In fact, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Grab a notepad right now, write down one achievable and realistic goal that you can get done for next week, and over the course of these next 5 weeks, continue doing that, and I guarantee that if you do that and stop thinking about other people, by the end of those 5 weeks, you're going to achieve results. Remember that everyone's unique in what they can bring to the table in the remote session world. Find out what that is. Not all of us have to be the fastest player or the best shredder or have the best technique. It's about what you can bring to the table. Another thing is, please don't compete on gear. I'm so sorry to break it to you gearheads out there, but I've accumulated thousands just using the basic essentials like an interface, an SM57 and the guitar setup that I have. I've now raised the profile of my gear slightly with some better microphones, but mostly, again, sorry to break it to you, but I use plugins. Have you even grabbed that notepad yet and started writing down your small and achievable goals for next week? If you haven't, you're already holding yourself back. Come on, let's go. Let's get this show on the road. This is commandment number 1. Do not fear competition. Actually embrace it. And over the next 5 weeks, we are going to crush these goals. See you again next week, everyone, for commandment number 2 of the 5 commandments that contribute to remote session success.